What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. Today is October 4th. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. Now, I've been gone for a little while. I was knocked out with COVID. That shit had me sicker than a puppy with parvo. But I'm back like a spinal cord. And I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to rock. Yeah, that shit beat me up, man. That COVID, I had it before when it very first came out. You know, when that COVID first started, I got it. And that was terrible. That was one of the worst experiences I ever had in my life. I was sick this time again, but nothing like that first time. But I'm all right. I'm healthy again, healthy as a horse and ready to roll. And I'm ready to go over clips. But before I start going over news clips, I want to go over something that I started originally when I first started my channel. I want to go back to the original videos. Because when you make these videos, you make predictions and you say things, and you know, people may take you seriously, maybe so, maybe not, but over time you'll be proven right or wrong. There's no doubt about that. And nobody's right all the time. Even Michael Jordan misses free throws. But by God, when it comes to some of these videos, buddy, I'll be hitting that shit out of the park. And let's take a look at this clip right here. This is from the Joe Rogan Show. Hopefully they don't copyright my video. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm just using this for educational purposes only. But I just want to go over this. If you don't know who Joe Rogan is, he has one of the biggest podcasts on the planet. And this man was on here September 28th. Here, just a few days ago, about a week ago. And he was talking about the war against the war with Russia and the Ukraine. And I'm gonna start this clip. Before I go over these news clips like I normally do, I'm gonna start this, and then I'm gonna go over what I said. This man said everything I said 7 months ago in my video, but I broke it down even better than he did. And I just found it astonishing when I was sick and laid up and was watching this like, what the fuck? I could have did this shit. And you can see this video has 3.3 million views, and I'm gonna take you to my video, which is a far better breakdown. I think I did a far better job, but let's take a look, listen to what he said. It's only like a minute and 30 seconds. I'm gonna only use part of this clip.
Like verbally promised and put in writing was that NATO would not expand 1 inch to the east. And NATO at that point, the line then was through Germany, right? Like the western half of Germany was in the west, and the eastern half was with the Soviet Union. And they were like, we'll let all of these nations, you know, secede, and the Soviet Union will collapse, and we're giving up on communism. One of the greatest things that ever happened. And the deal was, okay, you do that, then we won't move NATO. We won't move our military alliance into your area. That used to be your realm of influence. And every single president since then has moved NATO east, to the point that NATO is now on Russia's border. And in Ukraine, even though they didn't officially join NATO, there was always
fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm only using this for educational purposes only.
Always talk of it. Kamala Harris, right before the start of the war, said we're looking to put Ukraine into NATO. And they put under George W. Bush, they put in Poland these dual-use rocket launchers. There's a big complaint that Vladimir Putin has, that he's like, these can be used to get nukes here in a matter of minutes. Like this is like a threat to us that we cannot tolerate. And then in 2014, there was a coup in Ukraine that was completely led by the West. And I don't know if you've ever heard, but like I think I sent you actually once.
Now, I'm not going to use too much of this video, but as you can see, he's breaking down the reason why Russia invaded the Ukraine. If you can, you know, kind of follow what he said. Now, this is my video. It says United States versus Russia versus the Ukraine. Now, mind you, this video was from, let's make sure, September 28th, 2022. Let's go to my video. United States versus Russia versus Ukraine. Let's take a look and see what's the date on this video, too.
100%.
My bad, y'all. My bad.
The mainstream media.
And you can see my video is at the top. It says March 1st, 2022. This is when the war first started.
War is happening. What role do the United States play in this? What role do Europe play in this? And why now? those are some of the questions, that people might be having, that the mainstream media, the CNNs, the Foxes, the MSNBCs, they're not going to tell you. Because obviously a lot of these people are going to be pro-Ukraine. They're not going to give you the truth. They're going to give you a narrative. They're going to give you propaganda. So let's look at why. Let's look at a map of Europe. As you can see, you see Russia in red. Russia in red over to the right. You see Belarus, Ukraine. You see Romania in green, Bulgaria, Poland, Germany, Austria, Czech. It was a time before 1989, the fall of Berlin, when that was considered the Eastern Bloc, where they had split Germany in half during World War II. The Russians had the East, the United States had the West. So this is that split that you'll see all these Eastern countries. And I'm going to try to explain to you in this video why this war is happening now, because it goes back to then all the way to now. Now, as you can see, where Ukraine at? Ukraine is right on the border of Russia, and so is Belarus. Belarus is pro-Russian, by the way. And if you see that island under Ukraine, which is Crimea, which is a part of Ukraine, but it's pro-Russian, and Russia, kind of have their pro-Russian people in the government in that part of Ukraine, and on the outskirts too of eastern Ukraine. The United States have missile defense systems in Romania, I know for a fact, in Poland. I remember seeing those things on the news years ago. Now we'll pull some of those things up, but they have missile defense systems. Now, when Russia fell in '89, when the Soviet Union started to collapse in '89, a lot of these countries basically started going to war with each other. Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, all these countries began to fight for their own independence and who were going to rule the countries during that independence. Now, at this time, Russia is basically, they fallen apart. They overspent, they're out of gas, and, they were in trouble. So the United States started to take advantage of this through the 90s, early 2000s, all the way up until modern day. But over the past 10 years, Russia has started to expand back out west, as you can see in Belarus and a few other countries like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, that's at the top up here. They started to expand back out west. So the United States want to keep these missiles. The United States have nuclear bases in 5 countries in Europe, which would be I think it's Belgium, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Turkey. They have nuclear bases. And in Poland, Romania, and other, especially countries that's part of the EU, they have nothing but missile defense systems. And you probably wonder, what is that? That's to shoot down nukes. So not only do the United States have nukes in Europe to be offensive, they also got missile defense to be defensive. So the Russians were starting to feel the pressure of the United States getting closer and closer and closer. So it came to a point where Ukraine was kind of in the middle. They wasn't part of the EU, which is the European Union, and they wasn't really part of Russia no more. They kind of was their own little country, but Russia wants that back. A lot of people in Ukraine speak Russian, so they kind of want this Eastern Bloc back to push back the United States. This war has something to do with Ukraine, but this war is really against the United States pushing closer to Russia. This is not about, whose side you're on it. This is about the truth about why each side is doing what they're doing.
That boy talking that shit.
Dumb on TV, as they should, about not knowing acting like they don't know what's going on, when they know exactly what's going on. In Poland and Romania, they have these defense systems. And Russia they have new missiles now. They have this, like I spoke on in the last video, they have the Satan 1 and the Satan 2. Now these ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. These missiles travel up to 16,000, 17,000 miles per hour. And trying to shoot those missiles down once they get going is damn near impossible. You might can shoot some down, but some are going to get through. The closer you can get to Russia, the better chance you have of shooting them down, shoot them nukes down, and striking Russia simultaneously before Russia can do the same to you. So that's what this is all about. This is all about pushing more west for Russia, and the United States already having been pushing east. So as you can see, Ukraine, that's extremely strategic. Ukraine is a huge country inside of Europe. Huge country. So to have Ukraine pro-West, look at that. I want you to look at that map. You basically would have the United States have their missile defense and their nuclear weapons right at your doorstep, which they're pretty much already at your doorstep.
That boy talking that shit. God damn it. God damn it, when you come on this channel, believe me, you're gonna learn something. See, some of the stuff you might know, but I promise when you come on this channel, this just ain't no chicken shit channel where you come on and this nigga might kind of know what he talking about. Man, I'm talking that shit.
You, as from a Russian standpoint, you can't have that. You can't have that. You have to do something. That's why this, you know, what they say, desperate times calls for desperate measures. This is a desperate measure for Russia. It really is a desperate measure. And you know, let me check out another video. Let me go to something else and see what these people are talking about.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine 5 days in, U.S. authorities tonight believe that Vladimir Putin was not expecting the resistance he has seen from the Ukrainians, nor was he expecting the U.S. and the West and NATO would put up a united front quite like what we've seen. But tonight, a convoy of Russian troops, many miles long, now just 17 miles from the capital of Kyiv.
Now, he said that the Russians wasn't expecting a hard-fought war. Maybe so. That's in every war. You're always gonna, when you're a superpower, you can underestimate your enemy. That happens. That shit happened to the United States. Everybody remember George W. Bush on that damn warship talking about mission accomplished. We see how that went. 2 days after that, the IEDs started going off, and we was in a damn 10-year war in Iraq. So 10 years, these type of wars, if you fight guerrilla warfare, asymmetrical wars, these are bloody. And when it's all said and done, your country is devastated and it cannot stand anymore to fight. They're in a bunch of trouble. So even if Ukraine fights and able to push the Russians out, it's going to be a bloody battle because the Russians are going to really fight hard now. They have to. You can't just get this stuff going and then tuck your tail.
God damn it. And they still fighting today. What did I say? You can't just get this shit going and then tuck your tail. The Russians are going to fight even harder now. Boy, you talking about Negro Damas. Hot tamale. You talk about a sports life and politics TV prophet. Got to be more careful. But you know, I just want to go into that. I could, if you want to watch that whole video, listen to me. I knocked that bitch right out of the park. You better believe it. Knocked it right out of the park, y'all. Fantastic video. I went back and watched it and said, God damn, did I miss? I was like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, switch, fade away off the backboard. Tim Duncan, glide from the free throw line. Dr. J, oh my God, I was cutting up. Well, let's take a look at this. Manhunt underway for serial killer in Stockton. Y'all know, Stockton is like my second home. I done lived off and on in Stockton my whole life, and they said they got a serial killer, and I just seen this shit tonight. So this is interesting. Let's take a look at this.
Welcome back in Northern California. An urgent search for what police believe could be a serial killer. Police saying they have evidence one person may have killed 5 people in Stockton. Morgan Norwood reports.
5 murders, mounting fear, and a frantic search for a possible serial killer or killers. Stockton police say 5 recent deaths are part of a killing spree.
At this time, we don't know if it's a person, 2 or 3, we just don't know.
Since July, police say 5 men between the ages of 21 and 54 have been gunned down on the streets of Stockton.
Let's look at the. Hold on, let me see. Let me look at them names. Let me look at them names again.
We just don't know.
Since July, police say
try to catch a pattern. We got Paul Yah, Salvador, Jonathan Hernandez, Rodriguez, Juan Cruz, and Lawrence Lopez Sr. All Spanish, all Mexican. Interesting.
Ages of 21 and 54 have been gunned down on the streets of Stockton. According to police, they each happened under the cover of darkness. The victims ambushed, but no material things were taken, only their lives. Police say all 5 cases are earmarked by specific evidence picked up at the crime scenes, but not revealing what that evidence is, only saying that the killer has a pattern, and also saying that none of these incidents were drug or gang related. But they did release this image in hopes the public can identify this person of interest. He's tall.
How the fuck you gonna identify? How can you identify him? His back is turned and he's got on all black. You don't know what. He could be Mexican, Asian, black, white. Goddamn, give us a little something to work with. That's it.
With a slender build, the picture they say was taken near 2 of the crime scenes. 54-year-old Lorenzo Lopez was...
And I've said this in other videos before. No disrespect, but Mexicans got to be the worst rappers on the planet. I mean, my God.
One of the 5 killed.
Let's listen to the beats again. Rest in peace to this man, but by God, Mexicans cannot rap.
Near 2 of the crime scenes. 54-year-old Lorenzo Lopez was one of the 5 killed. He was a musician who often lyrically illustrated the dangers of gun violence. His heartbroken brother says Renzo was homeless, but was on the cusp of breakthrough and putting the slump.
He was a musician and homeless? Oh man, these people, they'd tell you anything.
Back together. He spoke to our affiliate KXTV.
It's hard to process that this has happened, you know. I mean, me and my brother have been like twins since we were a kid.
Yeah, I know these type of Mexicans. I went to school with these type of guys. Started out in the gang, probably in North Angeles. Started dibbling and dabbling in all type of different drugs, meth. Started out with crystal, then it went to some other shit, and then he was trying some coke, and he dibbled in crack, and he was in and out of jail. Probably went to prison twice, and unfortunate, you know, no, I ain't saying that's why he died, but you know, just I look at these people and you can kind of break them down and kind of tell who they are.
And then there's 35-year-old Paul Alexander, believed to be the first person killed. His family saying in a statement, he was a good boy who grew into a good man with a big heart. 80-year-old Eleanor lives in the neighborhood where Alexander was gunned down. Police are now warning people not to walk alone at night.
There's more focus on it, then I will have to be more careful.
Authorities are also offering an $85,000 reward for information leading to the killer, also asking residents in that area to look at their own cameras.
$85,000? They giving out some real goddamn money now. Shit. You gonna get some real people trying to solve some crimes in Stockton. There's a bunch of niggas can use that money. Shit, I liable to go back to Stockton, see if I can't solve that murder. $85,000, they handing out some real cash, but that's tragic though. You know, a serial killer. That's crazy. That, you know, that pumps fear in the whole city, because you know you never know if you're going outside to take out your trash, or you're going outside to get in your car late at night to go make a store run and go to get some fast food, or early in the morning you going to work. Yeah, that's scary. But you got to protect yourself. Have you some kind of pistol, knife, gun, mace, bear spray, mace, something on your ass. You know, you got to protect yourself. I say that in every video. Men, women, and children, we got to protect ourselves. Let's go over this. CIA funded. In-Q-Tel backs biotech and resurrecting woolly mammoth. The white man always wants to play God. He ain't got no business bringing a woolly mammoth back. And I said this before. 99% of all living things on the planet has went extinct. God makes certain animals, certain things go extinct at certain times to make way for other animals and certain things to live on the earth. It ain't the white man's job to be bringing animals back. Unbelievable. They say the CIA appears to be investing in resurrecting a hybrid of the long extinct woolly mammoth with all the problems in the goddamn United States. Homelessness, drug addiction, murder, suicide. These motherfuckers is putting money into bringing back the woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth, you got to be kidding me. This animal was alive. It was during the Ice Age. Where the fuck it's gonna stay? You gonna put it in Canada? I thought you said the greenhouse and what's that shit called? I thought you said the weather was changing where they can't. It's getting hot. The oceans is rising. The woolly mammoth belongs in the ice ages. What the fuck are you doing breaking back the woolly fucking mammoth? These people are sick. CIA-funded venture capital firm listed colossal biosciences in its public portfolio. They ought to be ashamed. So one of the goals is to use genetic editing. Oh, I get it now. See, when they put this shit out, this is a smoke screen. The gene editing, when they editing genetics, that means they really want to play with some humans. This is just a smoke screen. I just figured it out. As soon as I seen the gene editing, it popped right in my mind. The reason why they got this out, they playing with human beings and editing genes and all doing all type of sick shit behind the scenes. That's all that is. And the motherfuckers say they hope to resurrect the Tasmanian tiger. Why? Why? The Tasmanian tiger died off from natural causes, man. Oh, man. The motherfucker said, de-extinction. It's a new concept, but in 1993, Jurassic Park did try to warn us about this, and I keep saying this time and time again. They tell the truth in movies and TV shows, and they try to lie and deceive you on the news. These movies, man, a lot of these movies, man, be steeped in a lot of truth. It don't be as fiction as we think.
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
The interest is practical. Strategically, it's less about the mammoths and more about the capability. God damn it, didn't I just tell you that? It's more about the fucking capability than it is about the mammoth. This is about human beings. The next wave of progress in symbio will lead to the advances in our ability to shape both form and function in organisms at the microscopic level. Them sick fucking demons. Sick demons, man. Let's take a list. North Korea flies missiles over Japan.
Those are warning sirens sounding off in Japan after North Korea launched a ballistic missile over the country. Some residents in the northeastern regions were told to evacuate and trains were temporarily suspended. The Japanese government says the intermediate range missile passed over Japan and landed in the Pacific Ocean. Officials say North Korea is testing weapons designed to strike U.S. allies and key targets.
And let me say this about North Korea. You know, sometimes I've had debates with cousins and friends and families, and we talk about, you know, the United States military capabilities and how badass they is. And then people think, I have cousins and friends and family, they think these people are unbeatable. And believe you me, I'm rooting for the United States because I live here, so it's not that I'm rooting. But these people ain't unbeatable. Even they know that. That's why they constantly trying to make advancements, constantly trying to disrupt, constantly overthrowing governments, constantly staging coups, constantly, because everybody's beatable, man. North Korea ain't scared of the United States. Can North Korea beat the United States in a war? If you ask them, they'll say, hell yes. Do that mean they can? No, but we know the number one thing you have to have when it's a David versus Goliath is what? Belief. You gotta believe. The Negro don't believe. He's scared as a motherfucker, the white man. Seriously, so he don't believe that shit. He think that motherfucker's God. And he ain't. And they know that. Even white people, they know they ain't gods. Shit. They just as vulnerable shit. They scared of a nigga walking down the street. Shit, it be 3 of them. It be 1 nigga. Let's take a look. I'm gonna probably do what? Do I want to do the Marilyn Manson? They got a werewolf killer. Let's check out this werewolf killer. Man who stabbed 50 times, poses as easy going.
A Virginia man ordered to stay off of social media after appearing to gloss over his violent past in an online dating profile. That's because 38-year-old Pankaj Bhasin once suffered a psychiatric break, stabbing Bradford Jackson, a complete stranger, more than 50 times back in 2018 after believing he was a werewolf. Bhasin is now on conditional release after he spent 3 years in a mental health facility. But a few weeks ago, several women, then prosecutors, spotted this. Bhasin was posting on a dating app. This profile...
Now this motherfucker done stabbed a man 50 times because he thought he was a werewolf. Now, I'll say this over and over. I'll say it again. You check these people's social medias. These people are Luciferians. They're in all type of witchcraft, voodoo, and all type of paganism and energy crystals and all type of shit these people be into. And this man was able to actually get out of jail. And not only jail, but a psych ward after only doing 3 years. Unbelievable.
A screenshot provided to the judge describes Bhasin as, quote, an easygoing adventurer who believes in universal connection and who is, quote, recently...
Key word, there it is. What's the key word in this, y'all? Do y'all know what the key word is? Universal connection. A lot of people believe in this universe shit. There's a lot of Negroes that's starting to fall into that universe. I believe in the universe. The stars, the sky, Mars, Venus. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And that motherfucker's from West Dallas. Fuck out of here. Yeah, that universe shit. Anytime you see keywords, you know motherfuckers is Luciferians into witchcraft and all type of shit. Universal.
Getting back from 2 years of travel. One of the victim's friends reposted it, along with a warning.
I just shared it. I can't help it if I went viral when I shared it.
In court this week, prosecutors called